Hello, everyone. We have so many friends.
One watching us. Hello, who is ever watching us?
Hello. Hello, Maren. Katie. Hey, Katie. I love you. I haven't seen Katie in forever. Hi, Christian.
Hey, Christian. What's up, man?
Angie, how are you feeling, girl? We just wanted to come up and say hi to everyone, and we wanted to thank everyone for supporting us and sending us lots of love and light throughout the year, lots of healing we've received from everyone. And we wanted to share our appreciation for that. It's not been an easy year. It's been kind of a transitioning year for us. You know, we've had lots of ups and downs, like I guess everyone else, but your support and your love helped us to push through, to keep doing what we're doing, despite the fact that lots of people think we're crazy. It's what we're meant to do, and we're going to continue to do that.
I think we are a little crazy. So.
We are a little crazy, but that's okay. It's okay to be crazy. It's okay to be different, and it's okay to just be you, because you're perfect in every way, and you chose this personality and you chose this body especially for this lifetime. So be appreciative for who you are. Be appreciative for the life you're leading, even if it's tough. Know that there's always solutions to all the problems. Know that your thinking, your mindset determines the reality that you attract, that you create, and that you manifest, because we live in a universe that operates on the law of attraction. So it's all energy. And as long as you keep in mind that your thoughts are a very powerful mental units of pure energy, and that those thoughts and those feelings that you have, that they attract your reality. Know that you can change that at any moment in time. Know that everything you do, say, or think will have a response, or will have a reaction in your future. So become very aware of your mindset. Become very aware of the love that you share. You know, have it always in your heart. Let go of hate, let go of anger, let go of jealousy, let go of judgment, because that only reflects upon you, and it reflects upon your future. So we just wanted to say thank you for the love and the support. We hope one day we get to hug you all. We hope one day we get to tour around America and come say hello to everyone. Next year we will be going to California, so if you want to join us there, you can go to my website to purchase tickets. And it's an all-day event, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and all my friends are going to be there too. So we're going to do questions, and people are going to be able to ask questions. We're going to have spirits come through and communicate to you guys. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Gerald's going to talk about healing. He's going to teach you guys how to feel energy, things like that. So it's going to be so much fun. So I hope you guys can join us there. And if you can't, I'm sure if the universe wants it, we will meet in the future one day, and we'll be able to give each other a hug. It's just the two of us tonight for New Year's Eve. So we're just like, let's just go out and say hi to everybody. Hi, Kate.
Hey.
Kate, thank you for the donation. We really appreciate it
towards
our goal to establish a beautiful spiritual B&B and spiritual center. So thank you for that. Hi, Mahda. I know we will meet one day. We live in the same town, so you know, maybe one day I'll have maybe we can all go out for coffee or lunch, and I'll invite everybody who lives in the neighborhood here. That would be a lot of fun, and then we can just chat about all things spiritual.
Oh yeah, Just say hello, everybody, and thank you to all the new subscribers to our YouTube channel, though. We want to welcome all the new members to our group that we've had recently and stuff. So welcome, guys.
We've had a massive amount of new people. So let's all welcome everyone with open hearts and open minds and open arms.
Absolutely.
And know that this is a place that we like to keep very positive. So know that sometimes I do not approve certain messages if I feel like it might cause some conflict. I try to avoid that because I want our group to be a safe place, a home place for everyone. And so don't be discouraged if your message doesn't get approved. You can always contact me too via Messenger and ask me why it wasn't approved, and then I can let you know. Okay, so don't take it to your heart. I'm just trying to make sure that the group we're getting large, people. We're at 3,000 members, so we're getting large. We got to make sure that everything stays positive. Okay, even you know, sometimes things that we think are very silly might even, you know, cause some conflict. So I go with my heart, and I hope you guys can trust on that. If you do have concerns, don't be afraid to reach out. Let me know where your concern is, and I will check it out for you. Okay. I don't know. We don't have any plans. I'm not going to do any personal channeling. I'm on vacation, people. Although I do have Freddie next week, but Freddie's always with me, so he talks to me. He's been talking to me for about 2 years, so he's part of my family. So that he's gonna be easy for me. But if you guys have any questions about me, about Gerald, I know a lot of members don't know much about us. They're pretty new to seeing us, and if we can help you clear some stuff up, or if you guys just want to know certain personal things, don't hesitate to ask. Okay. Hi, Margaret.
Hey.
We love you. Have you been practicing your channeling, sweetheart? Hi, Kathy. Hi, Kiara.
Hey, guys.
Well, thank you, Kiara, for being so sweet as well. Kate, you're in the UK. Well, I was going to have a UK event this year, but unfortunately we didn't sell enough tickets.
No, unfortunately, no.
So that was canceled. I was a little disappointed, I have to say.
Yeah.
But the amount of tickets we sold would have not covered our costs. So we have to be, you know, we have to be strict on that.
Claire.
Oh, thanks, Claire. Hi, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you guys are just starting off your day.
Yeah,
it's like, what, morning or?
No, it's like lunchtime.
Lunchtime
early afternoon,
in America.
Yeah.
In Australia, they're already drunk and boozing out right now. They're sleeping it off right now, I think.
Probably.
Oh, you're welcome, Jen. You know, it's just something that I've always had, and I've hidden from it for a very long time because, you know, it's not easy to just come out and say, hey, I talk to dead people. You just want to fit in. And so for a very long time, I ran away from what my ability was, and also the events that we went through and I went through as a young woman, kind of blocked all that stuff out. So I'm happy that I was guided back to what I was supposed to do, because for a very long time I was pretty miserable because I was denying who and what I was here to do. So sometimes we need to get a little boost, you know.
Yeah, true, absolutely.
Hi, Kim.
Hello.
See you in California.
Yeah, see you in California.
Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for coming. Hi, Irene. Mwah. Lots of love to you too. Hi from Mississippi. Hello, Diana.
Hello.
Pennsylvania. Isn't it crazy how,
yeah,
you know, we are reaching people all over the world.
That is crazy.
It's so much fun.
Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles from the person from Pennsylvania, Mary.
He's very much into football. I'm just
you can thank the Chicago Bears for being in the playoffs, though. Thank you, though. I did you guys a favor.
He's a Chicago Bears fan, so you don't want to be around when he's watching the Chicago Bulls or the Bears, because he gets so into the game that he starts screaming at it, and I'm just kind of like,
all the time.
When it's the Bears and the Bulls, you're screaming. It's a given. If it's any other team, you're okay. When it's the Bears and the Bulls, I think sometimes people think we're arguing or fighting. Like I came home one day late from work and the game was on, and I could hear him from across the streets. So that's the windows and blinders closed.
Hey, I'm sorry I'm passionate about my sports.
He is so passionate about his sports. It's got to be an American thing. Here in Europe, we're kind of like leaning more towards soccer, but that usually turns into a fight.
Yeah.
Soccer, I don't know. They always turn into fights. So I'm not into sports, but soccer and cycling. I don't know. How did you end up in Belgium, Gerald? He married me.
That's a great question, Marcy. How I ended up in Belgium was, well, I used to be in the military. I was doing my second tour in Iraq, and I was just online one day. I was kind of bored. I just wanted to chat, and I remember she sent a message. She was online. It was the beginning of the chat room back then.
Yeah, you have to remember, this was 2004. So there was Facebook yet.
Yeah.
And this was, you have to picture it, this was the beginning of the chat rooms on MSN and Yahoo. I don't even know if Yahoo still exists. I don't know. And you were in Iraq.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was at home. I just came back from Colorado, where I worked as a wrangler in Estes Park, where I would guide tourists around in the national park on horseback. And I did that for about 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, something like that. And so I had just come back to Belgium, and I really missed America. And I went online and I asked the question, is there any cute Americans out here? Because I thought I'm going to just be funny and, you know, break the ice, because the chat room was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And I'd never been in a chat room before. This was my first experience with a chat room. So I was like, any cute Americans out there?
It was my first experience.
And he shows up and he goes, yep.
Well, of course I'm cute. I'm an American wearing a uniform, so men in uniform always look good. So there you go.
The thing was, this was a time where there were no built-in cameras into your laptop. And I had a laptop with no camera, and I didn't have a camera. So when we first started talking, all I could show him was a picture of who I was. So I had like one picture that I sent him.
True.
And so we started talking, and the first day we talked for like 3 hours straight, and it felt like I had known this person forever. I felt like I could tell him anything. He felt so familiar, and I could see him on a webcam. So I knew, I could see he was sitting there with his military uniform on, and people were passing by with guns, and, you know, I was like, okay, this is different, but sure. And we talked for about 3 hours, and we said, okay, tomorrow, same time, let's come back online. This was really nice, and I liked talking to you. The next day, he didn't show up.
Not my fault.
He didn't show up, and I was in a panic, and I was telling my mom about this guy that I met online. I'm like, oh my God, something must have happened. Maybe he got killed, because this was a time where, you know, this was beginning of the war in Iraq. And so I was really worried. And then the next day you came back on and you said, I didn't come on because I couldn't stop thinking about you, and it scared me. So he came back on, and eventually, you know, we continued to talk. And I think a week later you asked me to be your girlfriend over online. And I said, sure, he's over there, I'm over here. What can it hurt, right? And And then the week after that, so after 2 weeks of talking, you called me for the very first time. That was the first time you heard my voice.
Yeah, that's true. I heard a voice.
By the way, he still hadn't seen me. I still hadn't bought a camera yet.
No. Bum.
He calls me up, and the first thing he says is, "Wow, your English is really good." And I said, "Well, you know, I've had some, you know, I've always been good at languages, and I am. My dad speaks like 7 languages." And so right there, our first phone call, he asks me to marry him.
Of course.
We have never met. He's never seen me. He just had one picture. And he asked me to marry him. And I was silent for a while, for about 5 minutes, because my mind was saying, "Are you crazy? You've never met this guy. I mean, you don't know who he is." But my heart was screaming very loud, "Yes!" So I said, "Yes." And you were a little in shock that I said yes. But there you go. I said yes. We ended the phone call, and then I was thinking, how am I going to tell my parents? I just said yes to marrying a man I've never met.
You tell your parents, try to tell my parents.
Jeez. Yeah, hold on. So I expected a lot of screaming or a lot of, "What, are you crazy?" So I told my mom and dad were sitting in the couch, and I said, "Mom, Dad, I said yes to marrying a person that I've never met, and this is the person I was really worried about." And my mom just said, "Congratulations." And that was it. His mother, yeah, she went off the roof.
Pretty much.
So that's how we met. So 6 months later, I think.
Yeah, no, it was longer. We met, I talked to you, was in the end of July. I asked you to marry me at the beginning of August of 2004. And then we met about 3 months later for about 2 weeks when I went to Illinois.
Yeah, for the first time. So we've been engaged this whole time.
Yeah.
And then we met for the first time so many months later. Then you had to go back to Iraq, which was
hard.
Oh my God, that was the toughest thing ever, is sending him back off after only having 2 weeks together. But looks, you know, eventually we made it. We've been married for 13?
Over 13 years now.
Over 13 years. We're still going strong. So there you go. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's not logical, even if everybody around you tells you you're crazy, this is never going to work, if it feels right, and it feels right on both ends, you know, if there's no mystery, no, you know, and you're just longing for each other,
doesn't pay off.
Follow your heart, and just go for it, because it might just be the best decision you've made in your life. I know it was mine.
It was mine too.
There you go. There's our love story.
Yeah. Sorry, Mary, the Steelers didn't make the playoffs, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
Oh, God.
Well, she said she's a Steelers fan.
Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Let's not talk about that.
Well, congratulations to them. They did a good job. They had a good season this year, though. They deserved to win the division this year.
Oh, wow. You guys are going really fast here.
I know. Good lordy.
Talk to Pam. Love you. Time for coffee.
Yes, I'm a cute American.
AOL chat rooms forever. Yeah. We were on there a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, AOL, yeah. It was Yahoo at the time, though. When I went on, it was Yahoo, I remember.
Yeah, you went on Yahoo. I was on MSN.
Yeah, I was
How did that happen? How did we end up together?
No.
I don't know.
No, you were on Yahoo, too.
No, but I was mostly on MSN.
Yeah, but you were on Yahoo at that time, though, I think, when we talked.
Have you known each other in past lives?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we're what people call soulmates. So we're actually one higher self. And we've had, I don't know, we're part of the same soul family.
Yes,
that's what it
are.
is. We're part of the same soul family. But we're a lot together. There's a lifetime that some of you might have heard where we were in, I call it Western times, cowboy times.
Cowboy times, yeah.
Where I was a madame at the brothel. Eric was a sheriff. You were a friend of Eric's, right?
Yep, correct.
And Eric and Gerald were fighting over me. They wanted to both be with me, but Eric,
of course,
they eventually allowed me to choose, and I chose Gerald.
fun of codes.
Sorry, Eric.
But it is.
Eric's my guide now, in case you're wondering who Eric is. Eric is my guide in this lifetime. There was another lifetime that they told us about. I'm trying to think what it was.
Something about. Was it during the war?
Right. There was a World War I, I think it was,
somewhere around there, yeah.
Where, again, we were married. Roles reversed. I was the male. He was the female. And we got separated.
Yeah.
We got separated.
Yeah.
I guess I had to go fight, although we were pretty young, but we eventually made it back together.
Yeah, we did, actually.
But it took a long time. I think we were separated for several years, but it was like the love that we held on to made us stronger to survive what was going on. So we've had several lifetimes.
Yeah, we have.
Together. So I think we're pretty familiar with each other. That's why the moment we saw each other, it was like, I know you. I know you, because I remember you telling me after the first day we talked, you had a dream.
Yeah, I did.
And you said, I saw you in your bedroom, the bedroom you have now. And he had never seen my bedroom. He's only seen the backside of my couch.
Nope.
And he like described my bedroom to a T. Like he's like, your bed's there, this is there, there's a poster there, you know. So it was a very detailed dream, but it was so accurate. I was like, yeah, okay, this isn't this is supposed to happen. Yeah,
it was very weird for me too, because I could describe everything in her bedroom, and I had never seen her bedroom before, so it was really, really weird, but I was right about it. And I just think when we met though, it just felt right, you know. And even when I met her for the first time in person, it just felt right though. Even though I was extremely tired, I had to fly all the way from Iraq all the way to Illinois, which took about like a whole day to get there. I was completely worn out. And you flew all the way from Belgium to Illinois, come see me for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just.
And the whole time he looked at my feet.
I looked at her feet. Yes.
The first time we met, he was just staring.
She had cool shoes, so that counts.
No, he was, you know, when you're talking every day online, and then you see each other in real life, like they're right there. It's like you're lost for words. Like, now what? I remember you were shy and embarrassed, and you're looking down, and I told him my eyes are up here. You can look up. And then we kissed.
Yeah.
For the first time. So yeah. No. Are you also a medium, Gerald? No, Gerald's an energy healer.
I'm an energy healer.
Gerald has magical hands, and from the first moment I met him, I knew that. I felt that, because his hands are always glowing. There's like this energy inside of him, and every time my feet were hurt or my knees were hurt, he would just put his hands while he's watching TV, put his hands on, and the pain would go away. And eventually, as like my mom was starting to have arthritis, her hands were really hurting, they were really stiff, and I said, just let Gerald hold your hands. It'll get better. And her hands are instantly flexible again. They weren't stiff anymore. The pain went away, and he just held her hands for like 5 minutes. And so slowly but surely, I told him, I kind of encouraged him to, you know, maybe focus a little bit more on that, try to understand it.
Yeah.
And so that's how he kind of got rolled into it. And so that's what he does now. He does energy healings in person, but also via Skype.
Yeah, I'll do it energy.
And you've had some great success stories.
Absolutely have.
So even over distance, it works. Why? Because there really is no space. That's an illusion. And everything happens right here, right now, all at the same time. But again, you have to be a little bit advanced in spirituality to understand all of that. But just know that healing can take place across the illusion of distance.
You have to remember too, when it comes to energy, we are all different, but we're still all the same though. All our energies are still connected to one.
We're all connected energy.
And we all have the ability to tap into it though. It's just be able to understand it, how it works, you know, and be able to really connect to how that person is feeling in that moment when, you know, you're trying to connect to their energy, you know, because one person might tell you one thing, no, but when you connect to someone else's energy, it might tell you something completely different when you're doing the healing now too, you know, and it's different for everybody else. You know, everybody connects to it in a different way, so you have to kind of find what works best for you.
Yeah, he's a great healer. So he still has openings for January. So if you guys want to experience his healing, let us know.
I also do animals as well too.
Yeah, he does animal healing as well. So those are only 30 minutes. But if your pet's in trouble, don't be afraid to ask. I like this question. Kiara says, how did you react when Emma told you I see dead people, like in The Sixth Sense? Well, I didn't quite tell him right away.
No.
But this is how it happened, where I kind of came out.
Yeah.
So his friend died, Ramsey. Where's Ramsey? This is Ramsey. Ramsey was Gerald's best friend, and he died in Iraq.
During my second tour.
During Gerald's second tour. And Gerald was always very upset about that. But he didn't like to talk much about it. You know, no, Gerald's kind of a person who keeps everything in. He just stores it up. Not anymore, but you used to be.
Yeah, I used to be. Yeah.
I remember when he first came back from Iraq, he had PTSD. He had lots of nightmares and things like that. He was very, touchy. You know, I wasn't allowed to say much or he'd explode. But that was because of the trauma, you know, that he went through. And so he never really talked about his friend who died.
Not really, no.
And I remember one day we were watching TV. We were watching some show. I think it was Game of Thrones or something. I don't know.
I don't remember.
We watch a lot of shows. We're show watchers and movie watchers. Show watchers and movie watchers.
Very true.
And all of a sudden I felt this very strong entity sitting between me and Gerald. So Gerald's always on the left. I'm always on the right side of the couch.
Pretty much.
We have our steady seats.
Yeah. Sometimes you steal my spot though.
Let's not go into that, shall we? It got really cold in between us. So he's really, you know, the stove was on. It was winter time. There was no breeze. Everything was closed up. And it got really cold next to me. And I told Gerald, I think there's somebody here for you. And you were like, yeah. You know, he knew about how I thought spiritually about death and all of that. And so I started to just talk. I started to get these ideas and visions in my head, and I said, he's telling me this, and he's telling me that, and he's telling me this. And he's talking about details about his family, about the problems him and his family had, about his desires for family, about everything. All these details came up, and Gerald just sat there and stared at me with these big eyes. And he was like, how do you know that? You know, and I said, well, is it right? Am I, you know, because that's what I'm getting. And he was like, spot on. You know, that was who he was. He did have problems with his family. He loved his sister very much, and so on and so forth. And so that was the moment where Gerald went, okay, this is real. Because he had never told me anything about him.
No.
There's nothing to be found online. All you can find is his picture saying that he was deceased. That's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
In a list of, because I remember when Iraq, I remember watching those lists every day because soldiers would die every day, and I was always checking, making sure Gerald wasn't on there.
I told you when you saw me, I said I was coming back.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people.
I'm too stubborn. I'm too stubborn.
I was just afraid to lose the love of my life, so.
I was too stubborn.
And that's the only place where you can find his name. So there's no obituary, there's no nothing. And Gerald was in shock. And that's how it started for him to kind of open up to the idea of, okay, so there is life after death. Because he thought you die, that's it, you know, or you go to heaven somewhere and you stay there. You don't reach out, you don't come back, there's no communication, you're disconnected. And then I think that was the moment where.
Well, I think it was the starting process for me. I think where it really kind of changed and evolved for me, I think, as well as when we started doing this business, I think I was open to it, but I wasn't fully open to it, though. That's amazing. Meet. Okay, Nicole, I will give it a go. Well, thank you, Kiara. Appreciate it.
Tell him the story of your. So Gerald saw Ramsey in your meditation. Tell him that story.
Well, I was getting to that point.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Before you interrupted me. Jesus. See what I have to deal with? I'm telling you, it's crazy. Well, when we first started this business, though, I was kind of open to the idea, but I wasn't fully there yet with the idea of the whole spiritual things. You're like, oh, let's start a spiritual business. I'm like, okay. I thought she was kind of like, yeah, sure. Another one for
He's always supported me, even if he thought like, I don't know about that, but he was always like, okay, honey, sure. If you think that's the right thing.
I just got to, yeah, if you want to do that, let's just go with it. Yeah,
always been supportive.
Why not? You know? So, but then I started meditating, and
it took me a long time to convince him to meditate.
It did.
You were like, "That's not my thing.
Yeah.
That's not my thing."
It wasn't really my thing at the time. I was like, but then I started doing it though, and as I started doing, I started getting more and more comfortable. I started feeling more relaxed, and through time, I eventually started seeing things during my meditations though, and I couldn't really describe it. So the more and more I kept doing it though, and then eventually I had, my family members, some of my members who passed away, started coming to me. And I was like, okay, this makes no damn sense. This is just weird. And my wife just said, just go with it, just see what happens and see where it takes you. So then I remember seeing this thing that I saw on a video, I think it was with Jamie Butler, where she talked about a bridge. And you have to go to this bridge and you see like a light. And you have to do a certain kind of a breathing exercise, though, to be able to do it. So I said, okay, fine, I'm going to try it. So then I tried it, and I saw what he said exactly I was going to see. And then as I went through time when I was seeing it, I didn't want to approach it at first, though, because like, I don't know, and stuff like that. So I didn't go to it for a while. I said, well, you need to go. You need to just go on. And I said, okay, fine. So then I saw the bridge, and I eventually went up to the bridge. And then the next thing I kept seeing these lights coming out of there, like a big shining light. And these figures started coming out of the light, though, and I couldn't. And as they were coming out of the light, though, they were my family members. And they just said, come. They didn't really talk to me like words like I'm talking now.
It's more like telepathic.
Telepathically, like subconsciously in my mind.
Yeah, he could just.
And they said, okay, come. And one by one, they all started coming to me, and they started talking to me, and they started showing me things. One by one, my grandfather, who I never knew, my grandparents who passed away, and then of course my sister, who also passed away as well too. She came to me, and the last person that came to me was my friend. Now my friend it was very hard because when he died, I wasn't there when he died. He one minute he was there, next minute he was gone. Because I felt kind of way responsible, I think, because I didn't know how to accept the fact that I wasn't there when it happened. I felt like
I think you wanted to save him.
Yeah.
And you were tormented by the idea that you weren't there to save him.
Absolutely. And then when he did, I remember when he didn't say anything to me at first, and he just came up to me. He just put his hand on my chest, and everything he had felt, I had felt. I felt like that we had shared this bond that you could not explain, this unconditional love. He
was transferring his emotions into you.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And it was really deep because I couldn't understand it. I couldn't fathom it. But at the same time, though, I knew what I was feeling felt so real because the emotions I felt were, you couldn't imagine. It was like this overwhelming unconditional love, like a million times more than you can actually possibly imagine, and he just basically said to me, it's okay, it's not your fault what happened, and you need to move on. I will always be there for you and always be with you. You know? And it was hard because I usually don't cry. I'm not a big crier.
He does not cry, and he woke up out of that meditation bawling. And I was in complete panic because I'd never seen him cry. And I go, what's wrong? And he's just crying out of happiness, you know? And that was the moment you kind of let go of that guilt, you know?
Yeah.
You felt so much better.
But it wasn't just that. It was like after he did it, I felt like these other figures came in. They were putting their hands on my shoulders to make me feel like it's okay. You know, we're here. It's okay you feel this overwhelming emotion because you're not used to it. But we're here to guide you. And through the way, you know, I just kept evolving. I kept growing with my spirituality. I kept growing into what I was doing. And it made me become, in my opinion, a better healer because I started learning to understand how things worked up there, how things work with the energy, and how I can connect with the energy better. And I taught me things though too. And with my healing as well, I kind of learned through every healing I've done with everybody. I've learned something from every person I've learned. My healings though. And it's helped me.
And what's also good is when he does his healings, he takes the spirit of the person he's healing into a vortex. Gerald has the ability to create energy vortexes. So when he's healing you, he actually takes your spirit and places you with him in that vortex. And what Gerald sees during that healing is he sees entities coming towards him, placing their hands on Gerald's shoulder and helping them to heal you. And that's pretty unique. Most healers will just work with the body's energy. Gerald heals from within. He heals the spiritual problem instead of the physical problem, because the physical problem always comes from a spiritual seed, always comes from trauma or thought processes or thought patterns that are negative and so on and so forth. He actually takes your spirit and asks you, are you ready to let go now? Are you ready to heal? And so he gets spirits to come, and there's always different ones.
Absolutely.
He's seen aliens come in and say, you know, and helping him. He's seen Eric. He's seen angels come in. He's seen Bruce Lee come in. There's been different teachers. With every person he communicates with energetically, some of the, you know, entities come in, and they're always very unique or very much uniquely tuned into that person.
I think that some of them come in though because I think that some of them realize that certain people maybe need certain things to help them get through this process though, and some people tend to connect with some people's energies better.
Yeah.
And that helps them, you know. But we have to remember what healing is too, is you have to be able to guide it through the process of healing though, right? But ultimately at the end of the day, you're the one that ultimately has to let go.
That, and keep in mind that energy healing is not, it's not the person who's healing, okay? They don't have magic light bolts shooting out of their hands.
I wish.
You know, which is what people believe. Oh, energy shoots out of their hands and it heals them. That's not how it works. It actually works with the law of attraction. So what healers do is they are coming, or they are residing in a higher frequency, a higher energetic vibration. When a person's in pain, they come in with a very low frequency, okay? When we're not feeling good, we're low in frequency. We vibrate slower. When we're feeling good and we're in a good place, we are high in frequency. And so what happens is the healer, the energy, the God source, the angels are helping the healer to raise the frequency of that individual's energy. And so when the healer's energy gets taken up, that energy frequency forces the lower vibration of the patient to rise with that same healing. Why? Because like attracts like. It's the law of attraction. What you send out, you will receive. And in physics, the highest vibrational energy, which is love, will always be the dominant energy, okay? The lower vibrations cannot resist the higher frequency. So literally a healer is helping the other person to pull up their frequency. And when the patient who has a lower frequency gets an increase in vibration, it stimulates and activates the self-healing power of the body, because our body has enormous power to self-heal. But if we're negative, if we're in pain, when we're in that lower vibration, it stops the self-healing process. And so basically a healer pulls up the frequency and allows the body to self-heal. What Gerald does on top of that, that's what normal healers do, like Reiki healers. Gerald is a unique case. According to my guide, Eric, he's different than everyone else. He not only does that to the body, but he also heals the mind and the soul. And that's what makes his healing just a little bit different.
And so Shannon says, Gerald, do you think you can help other souls with PSD with your abilities? Yeah, absolutely, though. I mean, everybody, like I said, everybody connects in different ways, and everybody needs help in different ways, though. Some people need a little bit more, some people need less. It all depends on how the person is feeling at that moment. I try to focus on how the person is feeling at that moment, because you're not going to know how the person is going to feel 6 months from now, or how they're going to feel 2 or 3 days from now. You have to feel out how they're feeling in that moment, in that vibrational moment. And that's the best way to be able to help them, you know, and kind of guide them through the process, though, because some people need to be able to do certain things. You know, they need to take a certain environment, certain places. You know, that's why I always tell people when I do my healings, though, is what place makes you feel the most happiest, the most comfortable? Because when you feel very comfortable, you feel happier, your vibrational energy changes. And because of that, you start becoming more relaxed with what you're doing, you know, and then you tend to open up more because of it. You know, and it allows you to be able to connect with yourself and with me to help you, you know, and then it's ultimately up to you to be able to let go of what's ever bothering you or what's ever troubling you. And my job is just to help guide you through that process.
Yeah, but keep in mind that the person who is receiving the healing also needs to be open to it. Because when you're in a state of resistance, then no healer will be able to reach and penetrate through that shield that you're building up. Because your mindset, again, your mind creates reality. Your thoughts create reality. And if you don't believe in it, then that belief system will completely block everything energetically. Or if you're afraid of it, again, fear is a lower vibration, it's the opposite of love, then that will also block the reception of it, because he's had to do healing sessions with a picture for people that are not open to it, and it's not, you know, it's very hard to penetrate through that because they have built up a resistance for it. So know that if you do healing, make sure you're completely open. You have to surrender to the process, and you have to have 100% faith in the healer, because if you're not sure, then that's going to affect the healing session. Just so you know, that's the same with channeling. You know, if you come for a channeling for me and you're not sure if this is the real deal, the information I'm going to get in is going to be limited, because your thought process is limiting
absolutely.
it. If you're just open up and say, we'll just see what happens, I'm ready for it, then you'll see that everything will go really smoothly and will be really, you know, you'll get a lot of information in a small amount of time. So everything is determined by your mindset and your thought and your belief system. And if you keep that in mind and you keep that in your heart, then you will be able to find more control in your life. And I don't like to use the word control, but you determine everything that occurs. So, you know, if you fully understand how the universe works, you can guide the universe to assist you instead of to block you, by adjusting your belief system, your thought patterns, your emotional patterns, and so on and so forth.
I think Laura has a question. Okay, I have a question. Is anger something to be healed? What I really want to know is, it seems more complicated. Okay. Well, anger, if you think about anger, is an emotion. You know, it's an emotion. You know, like I say, everything has a certain emotion. Like you have anger, sadness, joy. You know, how you're feeling at the moment. Well,
and I think anger can be reduced with healing, because anger has a specific frequency that if we attack it with enough love, it'll soothe it. However, if we don't address the emotional reason behind the anger,
Correct.
then it'll be soothed temporarily, and it'll keep coming back, and then you can do another healing, it'll soothe again. But the emotional reason, or the thought process, the thought behind the anger needs to be addressed. And I can do that with a life coaching, with the spiritual coaching, or if with a healing, with a channeling. But anger is more the result, it's the reaction of a thought.
Yeah.
So healing can subside it a bit, but unless the mental thought behind it is not taken care of, then it might come back.
It's like this. It's just as much mental as it is physical. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that as well too. You know, if you tend to put all your focus and all your energy on being angry all the time, though, it will affect you mentally and physically. So it goes hand in hand. So if you're feeling angry like that stuff, it'll affect you mentally and physically. So you have to be able to say, okay, you know what? If I'm feeling this way, though, I have to be able to let it go. But not as mentally and physically, though. If I'm going to be able to find the right balance energetically to who I need to be as a person, inside and out. I hope that helps.
Yeah. Renee says, so in other words, you have to have their permission. No, they just need to allow it to happen.
It's all about surrendering. You have to learn to say, okay, I have to let go. I have to trust you and have the faith in you that you're going to guide me and do what's best to help me.
But it doesn't mean you can't sense healing, though. No. You know, if that person, let's say you don't tell that person that you're sending them healing, because maybe, you know, they just don't want to know about it. But their mindset is open to the idea that it's possible, then the healing will still be able to occur. It's only when they're completely against it, you know, then that's hard. Yeah. Tina says, fatigue and energy drain. The last 2 years, I've had 2 back surgeries and lots of pain. Hard to regain interest and energy. Suggestions? Well, pain can be eliminated. You can pretty much reduce that to a very low degree, because pain flares up when you focus on it. And I know when you're in pain, that's hard to do, to keep your focus somewhere else.
Absolutely true.
I get it.
Very
but with meditation, meditation has been proven. They've done 40 years of research on meditation. Yeah. Meditation has been proven to work to reduce pain. Why? Because you're shutting down the sensory system, and you're kind of residing in a neutral kind of place. So meditation can help with pain, but also really becoming more focused on positivity, things that make you laugh, whether it is watching babies and puppies playing on YouTube videos, whether it is listening to music that always made you feel good, whether it's watching movies that make you feel good, whether it's reading books. It's about taking your focus away from the pain and focusing on positivity, things that make you vibrate higher. And the more higher you start to vibrate, the more positive you become, the more the body heals itself and will create more pain-reducing hormones.
Can you go from it? There's a question from Nicole.
Hold on, I'm still. Hold on. So, Tina, energy healing, he can definitely, if you're interested, give that a try as well. Can also help with your pain, and definitely take away the edges of it. Again, like I said, your mindset, focus on positive things. Focus on, it's basically, despite the pain, focusing on everything that brings you joy and happiness, even if you're not mobile, or, you know, it's about looking at pictures that make you happy. It's about creating a comfy, cozy, warm, you know, feeling in your home. It's about focusing on positive, high vibrating, loving energy. Absolutely. And then you will see that the pain died a bit. Also, look into food. Look into food. There are so many healthy foods out there that can help with pain, that can help with the restoration of the body.
It can reduce
so yeah, look into medicalmedium.com. He has incredible diets and recipes that work healing, that work on back problems, restoring blood flow, everything. So look into your diet. Your diet can help you with your pain. Where you put your focus can help you with the pain, and meditation can help you with the pain as well. So there are,
and you can also do
healing sessions.
And also you can take a bath and bath once a week too. It helps cleanse your aura and your chakras too as well.
Yeah, to everyone who's listening, salt, bath salt is a perfect cleanser for your aura, for all negative energy, to get that out of your aura. What we do is we take a salt bath once a week to cleanse all the negativity out of our system, out of our energy shield. And what I also do for me is when I take a shower, I visualize all negativity being rinsed off of me. Know and understand that visualizations, you're making it real in your mind, therefore you are creating it into your reality, can help you with cleansing processes, cutting energy cords with people who are draining you, who are being negative to you, and so on and so forth. Use your visualizations. Visualize if you have to forgive a person, forgive them, not for them, but forgive them for you, for your own peace. So you can say goodbye and say, I'm done having you torture me or having you making me feel drained or whatever it is. That's what forgiveness is. It's cutting energetic bonds with people who are negative towards your own health, towards your mental health, your spiritual health, and releasing yourself from the bondage of that negative energy. And so I do that sometimes. When I feel people are negative towards me, I'm like, I'm cutting you out. And they're still in my world, but I'm no longer energetically connected to them, so they're not draining me anymore. I will visualize them in my shower, and I will tell them, I forgive you for not being at that level yet to understand how much you're hurting me. And then I visualize that they're crumbling down into a million pieces and they're being flushed down the drain. I'm basically saying goodbye to their energetic bond, and I'm cutting that. And that, I tell you, it works, and it makes you feel 100% lighter when you get out of that shower, so, and they can no longer attack you anymore. So that's a great tip for everyone. Also, baths, regular salt, kitchen salt. We use sea salt, rough sea salt. We put a little pacha underneath our bed. You can put that under your children's bed too. A little saucer or cup or whatever, so a little pacha. I don't even know. That's probably a Dutch word, pacha. Is that a Dutch word?
That's a Dutch
pacha.
word. A bowl, huh?
A bowl.
Say bowl.
We talk Dutch and English here all through one. You put sea salt in there. You put it underneath your bed. And what that does is while you're sleeping, salt is a very, very high vibrating crystal. And so that is a cleansing crystal. That's why bath salt works. Same thing. It's usually made with salt from the Dead Sea or something. And when you put it under your bed while you're sleeping, it's actually absorbing and neutralizing all the negative energy out of your aura, out of your energy field around you. So that way you'll sleep better, but you'll also feel better in the morning. Now, after a while, if the salt starts to clog together, you just throw it in the trash and you refresh it. And boom, you're done. And that's a great way of cleansing your energy source. So just a tip from me to you. I've done that since I was a little girl. So. And
what else you could try to do too is what I do is before I do every energy healing with any person I've ever done healings with, before I do I always try to focus on that something's positive. Before I do every healing, like I like to listen to music. I usually listen to like 80s music though, and it helps me relax. It helps me become more in tune to what I'm about to do though, and it puts me in a better vibration because my energy changes though. As well. So that could help you too as well. So you have to find what works best for you because everybody is very different. Some people might like this better or this better. You just have to find what works the best for you though. And what's going to help you the most to help you calm down and relax though too. You can also try breathing techniques too as well that can help well too. like close your eyes and count from down from 10 to 1. And if you're counting down from 10 to 1, every single time you're counting down from 10 to 1, realize that your body's getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter as you're doing it though. So by the time you get to 1, you know, you're releasing all that negative energy that's holding you down or holding you back. Imagine it being released out of your body. Visualize it in your head while you're counting down. That's consciously in your mind. This could help you as well too.
Yeah, so they're already doing fireworks over here. It's not even. It's only 9:30. They're like, screw it, we're gonna do it before everyone else. That way we're first.
Pretty much, yeah.
Epsom salt, any kind of salt works as long as it doesn't need to have salt. You do have bath bubbles and all of the other stuff. If there's no salt in it, it's not gonna do anything. So make sure there's salt in it, you know, and preferably salt from the Dead Sea because that's really powerful stuff.
Tonight I'll try it. Awesome.
Well, I'm glad you guys like the tips.
Yeah.
I think we need to do this a little bit more often, it looks like. You guys like us just having a chat, huh? We could talk forever about spiritual stuff, so we have to stop ourselves.
True. Very, very true. So
well,
true.
We're going to leave you guys.
One more thing, guys. I'm starting something new this year. It's going to be called Gerald's Thoughts. It's a new thing I'm creating, though. I'm going to be starting.
It's still in working process.
It's still in working process, but it will be coming out next year. Something new I'm doing for everybody, though. And it's going to be basically a, you know, it's going to basically be simple videos, though, to really help people.
Tips. It's going to be Gerald's tips on how to make life better. Because so many people are completely diving into the spiritual and completely want to change everything, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
But you can already change your life because sometimes that can be challenging, completely changing your belief system, your thought patterns, your emotional patterns. You know, it's a challenging thing, and we get discouraged really fast when we don't see the results right away. Because, you know, this kind of spiritual evolution, it takes time. It took me several years to get to the point to where I am now, and we're still processing stuff. We're still evolving and you know, having ups and downs where we're like, okay, hold on, why am I having this? Why am I experiencing this? What's the reason behind it? What's the lesson behind it?
Very true.
You have to, you know, in order to spiritually develop, you really have to stop yourself in the thinking patterns or in the automatic responses and go, stop. Why am I experiencing this? Or why am I experiencing it again and again? Did I not learn it the first lesson? Apparently I did not.
True.
Anyway, Gerald's going to give you guys tips on how to improve your day-to-day life with very small, simple changes. Because it doesn't have to be massive turnaround changes to make life better. There are very simple ones that you can do. So, and I think that's the idea that we came up with, or that you came up with. He's like, well, everybody wants to turn everything around, and that's good. But a lot of people get discouraged so quickly, and they're forgetting the basics.
Yeah.
So many people, let me try and explain. So many people, he's probably like, shut up already. I can hear his thoughts. So many people, this is kind of fun. We read each other's thoughts all the time. So it's kind of, he's like, honey, what am I thinking for lunch? And I always get it.
Not always, but most times.
Most of the times. When I'm focused.
We're not distracted.
Yeah, when I'm not distracted. But a lot of people want to make drastic changes in their life, but they forget about the basics. And if the basics aren't changed, then those dramatic changes are not gonna, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to hold on to it. You need to start with the basics, and then you dive, you know, slowly but surely you make bigger and bigger changes. And Gerald here is gonna try and show you examples of making very small changes in your day-to-day life that can have big effects.
Very true.
Is that right? What we were going to add?
Well, it's just, you know, I've been thinking about this a lot, though, and the reason why I came up with this idea and this concept of doing this, though, is that we have so many people in the spiritual world, and people talk about how they want to make the world better, but people don't talk a lot about the basics though of how it all starts though, or where it comes from, you know, because we as people in today's society, in today's world though, we forget about the basics and we take the small, simple things for granted though. It's right in front of us though. We don't even realize it so many times though. We just see like, oh, well, you know, like simply just saying hello to somebody, or just saying, how are you doing? Or acknowledging who you are as a person inside and out, or acknowledging other people though. But just acknowledging that you exist and stuff like that, and acknowledging other people exist though, is the first process into making things better.
But he's going to explain all that in the videos.
Yes.
I don't want to give away too much,
no,
honey.
No, not too much.
So it's about
making
making the basics in changing, because so many people ask me, well, how come I can't channel like you, and how come I can't hear spirits? Well, I can guarantee you every single person can.
Yeah, they can.
But you also need to change your whole state of existence. You need to live in a high vibration. You know, they are residing in a very high vibration, so you need to also reside in a high vibration in your daily life. You need to become mindful every day, because they live and they connect to you in the now moment. Yeah, it's true, but you laugh at that. But spirits are not in the future or in the past. They are in the now moment. And if your mind, if you're always worried about the past or you're thinking about the future, you're going to miss out on their communications. So you have to become mindful. You have to become very present in the now. It is a complete adjustment to your daily life if you want to have a full, clear connection with your own spiritual team, with the higher self, with source, with the energies around you. If you're not in a good place yourself, communication is going to be tough, and that's the reality. And I teach classes on that on Learn It Live. I have classes called Discover and Create and Discover, or Manifest and Discover Your True Life Purpose, which is about, I basically take you on different stages of spiritual evolution. Every class we're in a different stage. So I do recommend to go there if you really want to make a change, if you really want to turn life in a different direction, if you really want to go into a positive. If you want to let go of being stuck in victim consciousness, if you want to become a manifester and a channeler, then you have to go through a certain process and become peaceful inside and balanced in order to, to have that clear connection. So that's the reality, and Gerald's going to help you and give you tips for your day-to-day life that anybody can do at any moment in time. And in the meantime, I will try my best and together with my spiritual team to educate people in understanding the universe around them, in channel messages for people to help them in their personal journey, and so on and so on. So that's why I channel celebrities, because we all know them from a certain angle, and I think it's always very inspirational to see how they really were, to see that they had just as many problems as everyone else, to see that they were struggling as well too, and they can teach us how to see it now from a different perspective, what not to do, how to turn things around. And that's why I focus on inspirational people. And not so much on the negative people. I know a lot of people want me to channel certain negative entities, and they're positive now in the spirit world, but for me, I like to focus on the people and the spirits that inspire me and many, many others. So that can give us some clarity on things. And either way, because they kind of know that. So when I do ask who wants to come in, and they give me 5 names, then those are usually the people who have something to say or who want to share something. So know that I don't pick who is on the list when I make the 5 names known to be chosen for our next interview. know that I do not choose them. They are actually choosing me and giving me names. So I have no say over who wants to come through and who doesn't at that moment in time.
It's spannend.
It's spannend. Okay, guys. I'm so glad you don't channel bad people. They're not bad people. They just they're here on very challenging journeys, you know, but it's all part of a contract. So we need to find acceptance in our hearts for that.
You just have to remember too is we are spiritual beings living a physical existence. You know,
it's a virtual reality, people. This is the dream state. When we dream and we go home and we're in that, not in the REM.
Sometimes they get do dreams sometimes.
No, I'm not talking about dreams. Right. Dreams, when you're dreaming, you're still attached to your body. It's when we pass the REM sleep and we go into the deep sleep, that's when we actually let go of our bodies and we go home temporarily just to recharge everything. So the body can rest. So know that this reality that feels so real to us is really, it's a virtual reality that we're creating with our minds, with our conscious mind, and with a collective mind. So we are creating a world and we are creating the problems, believe it or not. So that's why I always say, you want to change the world, start within, start changing your perspective, start feeling love towards all, start helping people. You know, show that you love people, because you can know that you love people and you can actually show it and act upon it. There's a difference. Yeah. So act upon what you know and become what you know. And that's going to change the world and make the world a better place for all of us. So focus on the positive. Don't focus on what you don't want. You focus on what you don't want, you're going to get more of that shit. That's the reality. That's what you'll attract.
And also, too, you have to remember, too, is stay true to who you are. Stay true to who you are and stay true to who your roots are, who you are as a person, inside and out, though. Don't let people change you because they can change you. Stay true to what you are. Know what you are and be who you're supposed to be, you know? And whether people tell you don't do this or that, you choose your own path and you choose what's best for you, though. And who you choose to have on your journey with you as well.
Val wants to know how I started channeling celebrities. It started when I got
good question.
When I got an invitation from channeling Eric to be a medium for them, and I had met Eric during my meditation. I was guided towards him, and I saw some videos of Jamie Butler, and after I saw the Jesus and the Buddha interview and a few other ones, I was very fascinated because I had never seen a medium channel like that before, and it felt familiar to me. It felt like,
even to me a little bit too.
It felt like very familiar, and it felt really good. And so I think the next day, after we were kind of very inspired by those videos,
we were.
I was meditating and a young man came to me. Now I did not know what Eric looked like because I hadn't gone to the website. I had just seen Jamie Butler channeling and heard the name Eric. And so this young man came into my head and he started cursing at me. And he said, when are you going to fucking gas and start doing what you're supposed to be doing? And I was working in the store. I was a store clerk, and I hated it. And I've hated all my jobs so far until I got to this one. You know,
you don't hate it. You just like your job.
I just liked my job. I hated my job.
There you go.
You can say it. I hated it. You know, because I always felt like this is not what I'm supposed to do. This is not what I'm supposed to do. I never could find my way anywhere. It felt like I was always in the wrong place. And he just came in, started cursing at me, said, when are you going to fucking do whatever what you're supposed to be fucking doing? And I was like, whoa, who are you? And he told me, I'm Eric. Now start doing what you were meant to do. You came down here with a purpose. How much longer are you going to postpone it? He said. And I had been doing channeling and stuff like that, but just for friends and colleagues and people that I knew, not for strangers. And that's how it started. And he convinced us to start a spiritual center. And I think 6 months started the spiritual center.
Yeah.
He said, my mom's gonna contact you. And I was like, she has thousands of people talking to her. Why would she contact me? So I didn't believe it. And all of a sudden I got this messenger message, and she said, would you like to come on the show? And I was like, okay. I was scared to death. I had no idea what to expect, and she wanted me to channel Nostradamus. So I was like, oh boy, I don't know if I can do that. And Eric kept saying, stop being such a chicken shit and just do it. And that's how it started. So I did the Nostradamus interview, and I became a steady medium at channeling Eric. And I did that for about 1.5 years or 2 years.
About a little over a year, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And then I started working with Cindy, with her son Adam, for a little bit. But eventually I had to move on to do my own thing. I felt very restricted, and a lot of things were happening that I wasn't feeling comfortable with. So I moved on and created my own show, Messages from Beyond. And so I think I've had over 150 celebrity channelings now in total. If you find them, they're out there. They're on my...
You have to discover them. Go on in and discover them.
Eric, and there's some on Chilling with Adam, and you know. But now I'm doing my own thing, and I want to continue that and just stick with my own show, and that's where we're headed in the future, because I was pushed, and Eric said it's time to do your own thing now. So that's what I did. I followed Eric as he is my guide. Apparently we've had several lifetimes together. I was married to him in one lifetime, and he's my angel, my guide right now in this lifetime. So there you go. That's how I started. All right. Well, we're going to let you guys go so you can go and celebrate with your family. And we'll do this again, just having a chat. If you guys want that, just let us know in the comments. And just know that we love you. We're sending you many, many blessings. And we're sending you the best for the new year. No, it's a new beginning. Get rid of all that old shit.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Get rid of it. You know, focus on what you want. Manifest what you want. Attract what you want. Yeah. And just keep love in your heart always. Yeah. And for yourself as well. Because if you don't love yourself, it's hard to grow to that next level. So it all starts with self-love. And then that love will spread to the people around you. Okay?
Very true. Yeah.
Okay, so be bright. Stay in the light, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, guys, Happy New Year's to everybody around the world. They came and looked at the chat. We thank you guys for being here, you know, and enjoy your new year. Don't get too boozy.
Just let go, release, and surrender.
There you go. Have some fun. Enjoy your guys' lives, though, and we'll see you guys again soon in the new year, guys. Bye. We love you guys.
Love you.
Peace.